Yo, girl, what time is it?
The witching hour. I finally got it right.
All right, so welcome to the witching hour. It's Kass and Jaid here to witch about some more things. What have you been up to?
Literally. I mean, nothing. Well, actually, something. I was winging presentations. Got an A. I saw Black Panther.
Apparently it's really good.
And I mastered the recipe of vegan brownies that are not gooey, that are like actually cake-like. Who knew you had to cook the flour and the water together?
Interesting.
Yeah, it turns like a dough, and then you like knead that. Yeah. It's
Nice.
solid. I agree. Well, I made it. Anyway, what did you do?
Nothing all last week, basically. I went to New York City. I went home for the weekend. My friend Kelly and I finally got to the museum. We've been saying we're going to go to the Met for a year now, and we finally made it, but only for 45 minutes before we got kicked out.
Kicked out? Wait, why?
No, I mean, it was just like, it was
closed?
closing. Yeah, like, please, like, there's people everywhere that just like, please get out.
Welcome to Chili's.
Hi, welcome to the Met. Get out. We both had coffees from Starbucks because we were so tired. Like, we were both on the subway, like, falling asleep. So we both got coffees, and then we got to the Met, and they were like, you can't bring that in here. And I was like...
Did you just chug it? You can't throw that away.
Yeah, but it was like, I got a grande, and it was still more than half full. And so, like, my stomach was just like...
Yeah.
Blah, 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 you know? Yeah. Also, before we were in Central Park, and, like, there was, like, this guy, and in a non-creepy way, because he was with, like, his friends, like, one girl, one guy. He, like, came up to us and was, he was like, oh, I saw you, we're taking pictures of her, as in Kelly, and he was like, no. I know it sounds creepy just because of, like, experiences with guys, but, like, this was so not creepy.
Okay. Not creepy.
Yeah, just believe. He's like, yeah, so I was like, oh, she models, and then I saw you taking photos, and I was like, oh, you model too? He's like, yeah, well, I'm also a photographer, like, here's my card, like, he gives me the card. Yeah, and he's a young guy too, he's a younger guy, so he's like, here's a card, like, check me out if you like it, like, you know, let me know if you want to do a shoot or something sometime. You guys are from around here, whatever. Like, yeah, we are. You know, we're just here I'm here for the weekend, she's here for break, whatever. And he was like, yeah, and then he was looking at my camera because I was filming, and he was, like, asking me questions. So it was a very, like, genuine exchange of, like, you know, of both of our hobbies and stuff.
Right, it's called appreciation.
Right. And also, I mean, like, I've had... One time, this guy came up to Justin and I on the subway, and he was like, "Oh, is this your girlfriend? She's so beautiful." Blah blah blah. You know, here's
she is right here.
Right, like, yeah. He's like, "You're so beautiful," and then he looked at Justin. He's like, "Are you?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're dating." And then he, like, gave me his card, but then later on we looked at the card, and it was like half naked ladies, and, like, you know, and it was like, you know, and, like,
wait, that was a photographer?
No, that was, like, another time. That was with Justin.
Okay.
This photographer was, like, a young guy. His photos are actually really, really nice. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
And stuff. So I DM'd him. I was like, yo, we met at Central Park. So he's like, yeah, let me know if you want to set up a shoot, and I'll probably have him for my documentary too.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because, you know, I've also been working on my documentary. I've been filming a lot, and yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's looking really, really good. Yeah. Yes, it took a lot of cool photos. I'm into photo editing now. I've been using Lightroom. It looks really cool. I've been using some Photoshop effects. YouTube's my best friend, and we went to a wedding, and that was cool.
It's pretty cool. Sounds fun.
It was, yeah. I had a good weekend.
Much more eventful than mine. I sat there and Googled puppies. That's what I do every day, though. So
right. You know, it was really fun. The wedding was fun, but there were a lot of things I couldn't eat, and they had a dessert bar. They literally they had a whole announcement. They rolled out
like
a
parade.
Dessert bar. So there was, like, different columns, and they made, like, one big circle of just dessert. And I could only eat the fruit, and I was like, "This is so nice."
They didn't have, like, dark chocolate or something.
I don't know. It was like one of those things where I just didn't want to ask. Like, they had a fountain. I didn't know if there was milk in it, but I was like, "Oh, it probably is." So let me just not.
You'd be surprised at the random things that are not, like, the popcorn at Regal, 100% vegan.
Yeah, because it's oil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coconut oil and canola oil, and that's what they use for their butter.
The popcorn at Disney is also vegan. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's great. Like, yeah. But yeah, so there were pretzels, but, like, I just wasn't feeling pretzels.
I can only eat so many pretzels before I'm, like, pretzeled out for, like, a year.
For a year? Oh, no.
I can't remember the last time I had a pretzel. When I used to live on campus, I used to have them, like, every other day.
Oh, really?
When they were fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Now, not so much.
Like Mickey pretzels and stuff?
Oh, yes.
Those are good. I'll eat those all the time.
I kind of miss those, but like because I don't have them so often, it's fine. Like I don't think about it. I'm just like, oh, that would be good. But like I can't have it for like another I don't know how many months now. So
I just love bread. Oh, or the pretzels from Germany in Epcot.
Yes.
Big ones. Those are so good. They're like $10, but
one of the things that I'll miss is the funnel cake from the American Pavilion with a giant block of ice cream. It's literally a block of ice cream, not a scoop. Like it's a block. It's so good. It's so good though. I ate the whole thing.
I know. There's like a whole bunch of things I'll miss from there. The rice cream from Norway. Have you ever had it?
No.
It's like
that sounds really good though.
Yeah. You actually, I don't know. You might have a consistency thing with it, but also like.
Is it grainy? Is it like tapioca?
It kind of is.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
but like it tastes really good.
No.
I'm not thinking of other things I miss. Like I don't know, just ice cream all the time, I guess. But they do have like tofu ice cream.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. Anyway, let's get right into it because I know we're gonna have a long conversation about everything because that's us and
I'm ready.
Talk about the first thing today. We were talking about. We were hanging out on Thursday and we were like,
which was fun, by the way.
Which it was so much fun.
great.
We played Heads Up. I saved
You
all
have
the
the
videos.
videos?
We have to look at it later.
That's embarrassing.
It was so funny. And then I don't know. I guess we were just talking and we were just like pet peeves. Let's talk about pet peeves.
Yeah, I don't even know how that came about. Honestly,
yeah, me neither. I remember us saying pet peeves, but I don't even remember like the instance in which we said it. I don't.
We said so many things of that. It was just like over my head at this point.
Yeah.
I did write down a bunch of them from the last time I saw you.
Oh,
until
you
today.
did?
Yeah, like literally. Nice. I'm like, podcast.
Cool. Pet peeves. All right, go ahead. Start with your pet peeves.
All right. So one of my pet peeves is if somebody's really interested in something, do not give them an unamused head nod.
Yeah.
Like just.
That's so true. Like when someone's really passionate about something, you can like feel it. Like you can like sense it. And like if someone's like talking to you passionately and you're just like, cool.
It gets on my nerves. Like, do not just. No.
And like obviously, if you're passionate about it, you told them for a reason. Like you told that person for a reason.
Or like if you say, "I'm really excited about something," that's a cue for you to really listen because these things mean stuff to people. Like you can't just downplay it and be like, "Oh, it's fine."
That's what I get the most butthurt about things too. Like
same.
Oh, okay. So here's one of my pet peeves. I didn't even have it written down, but like I knew that like we would talk and it would be like shooting us. I hate it when I say something and like the person just doesn't respond. I hate it, and like it you know I know exactly where it comes from. Like I used to date a guy who like I would say something to him and he would just not answer, and I was just like,
wait, but it's just like a conversation like me and you are talking, and he would just like
like or like even if like I don't know. Even if you were just like, oh my god, I saw this really cool thing yesterday, and it was blah, 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 blah. Hello?
Hello?
Did you hear me? Like, what? So, like, now, even if it's just something like, I don't know, like, I still kind of get annoyed, even if I'm just, like, kind of, like, talking about, like, oh, wow, it's so nice out or whatever. And, like, I look at the person, and they're just, like, blank, and they don't even give, like, a nod or something. I'm just like... Did you acknowledge? I just want to be, like, acknowledged, you know? Like
right. Like, I'm talking to you, not talking to the general air here.
Like you can literally just be, like, nod, or you could be like, yeah, it is. Or you can, bonus points if you're like, oh, my gosh, it's so nice. Like, last week, like, it was... Like,
interest.
Right. Like, something. Like, you
even
know,
if it's fake interest.
Like, just... You're still acknowledging.
Right. Just acknowledge the fact that somebody is happy to say something to you, because at the end of the day, I could have told somebody else.
Exactly.
Somebody else would have been super excited about what I was going to say or what I wanted to watch or what I wanted to do.
Exactly. And like you're saying something for a reason. You're saying something to that person for a reason. Like you want to be acknowledged. Like we're not, you know, you're not a wall. Like do something. You know, like give me something, dude. Like I'm talking for a reason.
Right. It's not like you're asking for much.
No, literally just be like, yeah. Okay, like something. Yeah, so that was I just went off yours.
How are you as a greeting? Like when you're walking down the hallway, how are you? And like, there's no response. It's a question. Like I would expect a response. So like if I'm asking you like if you say, hey, how are you? I'm going to say, good. How are you? And you just keep walking past me. How are you is not a greeting. It's a follow-up to a hello.
I totally get that.
That's only like an up here thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
I never experienced that in Florida.
Yeah, I kind of do it, I guess. But I mean, like, that one doesn't bother me that much. What bothers me, not bothers me, but like makes me feel awkward is when people are like, what's going on? Because I really don't know how to answer that one. And I get that a lot, especially from like guys our age a lot. They're like, yeah, what's going on? Or like, like, nothing. I literally, every time I answer is, hey, what's going on? Nothing. And then like, that's it. And then the interaction's over. And I hate it. I hate it so much because I don't know how to respond to that.
Now that I think of it, people do say that to me. And I'm just like, heh.
Like, you don't know what to say. I hate that.
I never really thought about it though. Like, I was just like, hello, it's better than how are you?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Constant interrupting. And like, I don't mean like you and I would have conversations where we bounce off each other and we're like, going like that. I don't mind because obviously we're both like very passionate about something and we're both like, we're not fighting each other to get the last word. We're kind of like, this is in my head right now, I need to say it. And you're like, yeah, like, let me go say it. I'll get back to my thing. And like, like that's fine. Like, I'm cool with that. What I'm talking about is like, if you're talking, go, start saying something. Go ahead.
So the other day I was...
Oh my God, so I was doing something and blah, 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 blah. And like, that's...
I can think of somebody that does that.
We know, right?
Yes, I have it written down. Yes, oh yes, okay. Same frequency.
I knew she would get this. Like, so it's not just like interrupting and then being like, because sometimes like you just word vomit and then you're like, oh, sorry. And like, you're like, you go.
Right, I do that a lot.
Yeah, and then like also because you said something out loud, you remember it in your head and that's fine. Like, and then you finish, I'll finish my train of thought later. But some people, they interrupt and you're still talking and they'll talk louder over you until they drown you out. Let me finish. And I know who we're talking about because that same person, I noticed it a lot and I wouldn't stop talking and I would go louder. Like, listen, I'm going to keep talking. You can talk over me all you want, but if they're not going to hear me, they're not going to hear the both of us. Because if we're both saying words right now, no one's going to understand the both of us, and that's fine. That's fine because you wanted to interrupt me anyway. I wasn't going to speak anyway. You weren't going to hear what I was going to say anyway. So we might as well just not hear the both of us. You want to fight?
Literally though, that's like a perfect segue into what I was going to say. I hate when people talk over me. So listen, same person still. So we were talking. So it was 3 of us. I'm talking to one of our guy friends or whatever. And I'm like having like an actual conversation. Like I'm like,
I know this exactly.
I'm like halfway through a story and I haven't even gotten to the best part. And she starts just and like yelling and talking really loud. I decide to continue with my story at the same tone and completely ignore her. Said friend I was talking to goes, hold on, I'm sorry, I can't hear what she's saying. And like continues to listen to me. And it was by far the greatest moment I've ever had. Right. It was great. Like, shut up for a second.
It's not your turn. Like, literally. We need a talking stick? We need a talking stick.
I feel like I'm in kindergarten.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. So, and then another one, I guess it's kind of connected, one-upping. And, like, that's for anything.
I have that written down.
Amazing. Like, can't you just be happy or sad for me? Because this even goes for one-upping, like, on the opposite way, one downing. Like, wow, I had a bad day. Oh, well, my day was worse. We can both have bad days. Like, it could be bad in my experience, obviously, but I'm not saying I had the worst day ever. Like, there are people dying. Like, I get that I'm not the only person having a bad day. Like, but just in that moment, like, I just need to be like, oh my God, like, let me just get this off my chest. Like,
acknowledgement. Exactly.
Another thing of acknowledgement. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm the only one in the world with problems. Obviously not. I'm very, like, privileged. Like, we're very privileged in a lot of aspects. Right. So I'm not trying to say that I'm the worst one in the world, but, like, just in saying something about it, you get relieved. Like, so there's no point in somebody telling you how worse their day was. Or, on the opposite end, like, hi, I just got a promotion. Oh my gosh. Obviously, I'm excited to tell you. Right. Don't come at me with,
oh, right, I got it last week.
Right. Great. I'm happy for, like, I would have been happy for you, but not anymore. Like,
right. You just drained my
Right. It's not a competition. Like, people who compete all the time. It's not a competition on who's more sad, who's more happy, who's more successful. Like,
Right, like, what are you winning?
Nothing.
Except in my anger.
Right, and like you're losing a friendship because like that's not how to be a good friend. Like, and again, just like you know what we were talking about, your first pet peeve, just like that. Just we're obviously telling you for a reason. Mm-hmm. Like we want some kind of acknowledgement from you specifically. That's why we told you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember, there's always somebody out there who's willing to listen. So if you're not, somebody else will.
You know, that's like what you call it. A good story, good person to do this. I tell my friend Clayton all the time.
Oh.
Every time I have a good video, I let him know because he's always so positive. Like he really is. He knows so much more than me about like a lot of like video stuff and like whatever. But every time like I show him something, he's never like, oh, I learned that like yesterday, or like, yeah, that's pretty good, but like check out mine. Like he's always just like, wow, that's awesome. Like, wow, that's great. And just doing that, like that's why I tell him. I feel so good every time I tell him because like he could easily be like, I learned how to do that when I was 2, like, and I didn't even know how to walk yet, like, you know. Right.
No, I definitely feel you on that, for sure.
Right.
I hate when people say ill about food.
Ill?
Like
that's ill?
Like ill, or call it like dog food or something. I've had this exact thing happen to me. Like, I want at Taco Bell. That's one of the few places that I can go and get something really quick without having to worry about what I'm going to eat because I can order something. And said person goes, ew, that's dog food. I wouldn't eat that. No food is dog food. Like, that's rude, first off. Dogs and humans eat the same thing. Second, why would you ever call any kind of food ill? Like, that's really gross. Yeah. Like, that's so rude. Like, there's people out there who can't eat, who live in food deserts, or just don't have access to certain things, and you just go and call it, like, dog food, or just ill. Mm-hmm. Like, that drives me nuts. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Like, have some respect for it.
Yeah. Also, if you're eating it, like, leave me alone.
Right. Like, especially, like, we eat kind of strange things. And it's not even strange in, like, whoa. It's like, whoa. No, it's just different and therefore not normal or whatever you want to call it because it's not what you see every day. And, like, people are quick to be like, ew, what's that? Ew, it's vegan. Oh, it must taste nasty.
Meanwhile, like, I don't know why vegans get such a bad rep because we don't go up to your place and we're like, ew, dead carcass on your plate. Like, I mean, we easily could be like, ew, to, like, the things you're eating as well, but, like, we don't.
Right.
Like, we
and
keep
like, some people may, but I know I personally don't.
I don't either.
So why would somebody feel compelled to do that to me? Because then all hell breaks loose if I were to say something about their eating habits. Right. Like, double standard there. Like, you can say something about what I eat, but, I got to keep my lips sealed about whatever you're eating.
Because then all of a sudden we're the bad guys. Yeah.
Right. And, like, then we're radical and crazy. Oh, that's my favorite.
Right. Even still, like, you know, if somebody's eating, like, you know, I'm like, hey, what are you eating? Obviously, I know they're not, like, eating vegan food if they're not vegan, and they're like, yeah, wings or whatever. I'm still going to be like, like, because I know that you like it. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, wow, so gross, you eat animals. Like, I mean, like, it's not for me, but also I'm not going to try to force my agenda onto you if, like, that's not what you're ready for or that's what you're not into currently, you know? Like, it could be something potentially. If you want to have a conversation with me about it, cool. Like, I'll let you know. But also, like, I'm not going to go up to you just like I don't expect you to come up to me and just tell me how gross my food is.
Exactly. What we eat is a personal choice. Let it go.
Right.
Just let it go.
Jerks. Feet dragging. People
with Uggs.
That's so funny because somebody tweeted about feet dragging the other day, like one of my friends. She goes, why do people drag their feet? And I literally messaged her back and I said, with Uggs. I said with Uggs.
That gives me, like, chills.
Because it's so sandy. Like, that's what it sounds like. It sounds sandy, doesn't it? I don't know. Does that make sense?
It's like you can hear, like, just things, like, rubbing up on each other. Like, the friction is an actual sound now.
Yeah. Oh, and it's the worst when people run and drag. Oh, like, if you're running, you gotta get somewhere quickly. I'm pretty sure dragging
pick up your feet. That slows you down. Come on.
It's just the noise. Like, I know that's a minuscule one, but I'm just like,
no, it's not minuscule.
Like, pick up your feet.
Especially in, like, an enclosed area, and all you hear is a
in our dorms.
Ooh, or the screeching sound.
What screeching sound?
So at one point they, like, waxed the floors, and I was, like, wearing some, like, free runs or something like that, and if I stopped too abruptly, it would screech.
Oh, these shoes do that.
And
I
I'm
know,
like,
I hate it so
I try to
much.
just walk very slowly and gently because it probably bothers somebody because I know it bothers me. And there's
Feeling
other
like,
people who are like, screech, screech, screech. Ha, ha, ha.
I know, mine squeaks so bad. I'm feeling like SpongeBob with his
Oh,
boots.
no.
With the squeaky boots.
I just think about the pickles.
The squeaky pickles. The rubbing them together.
Yes. So another thing that bothers me is when, back to the hallway. So we're walking in the hallway, and you're walking below the normal traffic flow that's happening behind you, and you decide to stop. Do not give me an attitude that I bumped into you. Do not give me a look, because this was on you. So excuse you, not excuse me.
They really get mad.
Yeah, that happened to me like 2 days ago.
Like,
Okay, well, it wasn't 2 days ago. It was probably like last week. But I was walking, and this girl's just twirling her hair. She stops. Like, you could hear, like, just the brakes. Stops. And I, like, face plant into her backpack, and she's like,
yeah.
like...
Yeah, what? That's your own fault.
Yeah, like, maybe think about where you're going. Have a plan. Don't just kind of wing it.
Yeah. Or just don't be mad if someone bumps into you. Like,
Right.
if someone bumped it, because I have, like, random thoughts sometimes, and I just stop in the hallway. Like,
Right.
I turn around, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, that's normal.
Right.
Just don't get... It's not normal to get mad for your own
Right,
fault.
for your own mistake.
Yeah.
Like, that's... I wonder what else you do that with in life.
Or when you're walking in the hallway and you're, like, kind of in a rush, and, like, there are people walking slow, which is fine, but then they take up the whole hallway.
There's a left and a right side.
And that's selfish. Like, if you're walking your own pace, I'm not going to be like, move faster. Like, so you're not in a rush. That's fine. Move up to the side. But if there's 3 of you and all 3 of you are, like, in the hallway, like, taking up all the space, and you see me behind you, because I know some people don't realize, and they turn around like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. But some people, like, really are doing this when it's rush hour in the hallway.
We have classes to get to.
Right. Like, it's fine if you're nonchalant. Just move over to the side or something.
Right.
This was my first one. I didn't do it first because you went first, and then I, like, bounced off of yours, but this is my biggest one. It's when people eat with all of their fingers. Like, it's so, you have, okay, 2 or 3 fingers at most. Like, it grosses me out. Like, I cannot.
This seems kind of barbaric.
I have a couple of friends that do that. I know he's gonna watch it too because he's been watching mine. But Alex.
Do I know this? Oh, I don't know this person.
I see. Like, it's not like I have, like, you know, I can't be with you if you eat like that. But, like, he knows too, and he, like, kind of rubs it in my face. And I'm like, especially when we ate the mac and cheese. He ate a mac and cheese hot dog once, and it was like he fisted the whole Kroger and, like, into his mouth, and he was like, "I'm sorry, Dana, but this is how I have to eat it." And I was like, "No," but, like, there are other things.
Wait,
like,
do I know this Alex?
yeah, Alex and yeah. You met him.
Ew.
No, but I do love him, but that I'm
No, he is very sweet.
But he's the way he eats. So, like, if you, oh my gosh, like, I remember watching somebody eat a Twizzler, and it was like the whole thing.
My sister does that. She grabs the whole thing.
The Twizzler. Ew. Like, I already sometimes feel gross using my pointer and my thumb to grab things.
Right, like, there's so much bacteria on your hands.
Or, like, if you're grabbing one M&M with all 5 of your fingers.
I'm not even that nimble.
Like, why would you do that? Like, what's the point? And then putting it... Or, like, when you have, like, a bag of treats. Like, I always share my treats. Like, we said this last...
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you want some? And you shove your whole hand in there, and, like, you touch everything. And, like...
I just do the...
Right.
Please.
Like, it's so gross. Like, there's so much bacteria everywhere.
Literally.
Like, why wouldn't you just use your, like, pointer and your... Like, if you want to use 3 fingers even, like... But why would you grab with your whole hand? Like, this isn't a claw machine.
The claw.
The claw.
That's so gross. I can't. When people are very touchy.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
Do not talk to me. Touching me. I know this one particular person who, we're not even friends. I don't know you. And you go, how are you, Kass? Don't touch me. Don't squeeze my arms. Or like my tattoos. They're for me.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go and just, like, touch them and, like, move my arms all kinds of way to see them. Stop. That's gross. First off, I don't know where your hands have been. I don't know what your grabbing with your whole hand. You know, like, that's gross.
Grab your Twizzlers.
Right. Like, now I have... No, like, that's just nasty. Like, don't...
Personal space.
Right. Boundaries. They exist.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't...
Yeah, I don't have this problem, but, like, you know, I've heard, like, a lot of people with, like, different kind of textured hair, you know, touching your hair, like, is this your real hair?
Right.
Like, oh, how do you get it like this? Like, you know, without asking, without, like, any kind of warning, just, like, grabbing your hair, like, things like that.
They used to happen to me a lot when I had really, really long hair, and it was always curly, and then the few times that I would straighten it, somebody would go, inevitably, and just run their hands through it. Girl, you know the oil in your hands is ruining my hair right now? It took me like an hour and a half, maybe 2, because I had really long, thick, black, curly hair. And you gonna run your hands through it?
Yeah.
Come on.
I get the whole touchy thing, too, because, oh, my gosh, I hate being touched. Like, I have to be really close with you to, like, even just hug you.
Right. We don't hug.
We don't. And, like, yeah, that's, like, one of the many things that we have in common. We don't like being touched. We don't hug each other.
Like, what's the point?
And, like, I will hug people if there is a point.
Right. If there's, like...
I haven't seen you in a while, you know. Like, it needs to be
I feel like if I'm not going to see this person for a really long time, like, I'll hug them.
Exactly. Or if I haven't seen them and I see you now and I'm, like, excited, I'll give you a hug. Like, you know, like, that's personal. Or, like, if there's a tragedy or, like, you know, or, like, you're just sad, like, sometimes, like, they need hugs, like, to feel better and stuff. And, like, if that's what they need, then I will hug them. I mean, like, personally for me, I don't, like, if there's any kind of, like, sadness, tragedy in my life, I don't like being hugged.
I don't think it helps me.
It doesn't help me. It makes me cry more.
Right. I'm just like, get off me.
If I'm crying, it'll make me cry more. I don't like that. But some people it helps. So if I know that it helps the other person, then I will do it for them. So, like, again, a purpose.
Right.
Yeah, but just, like, touching in general. Yeah, like, the whole grabbing. Like, I have to be close with you. I don't like. I mean, my
my shoulders go up like we're talking about it. I'm like,
yeah. I'll hug my family. I'll hug I hug, like, my baby sister. She's a baby, you know, like, well, she's a toddler.
She put her feet in my face and goes, I like eggs.
She's funny.
What? That was the first time we ever met.
We should talk about her one podcast. Just her.
Just her. She's such an interesting being. Love it.
She's very interesting. Like, she's so interesting.
She's very Jolie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, anyway. I remember, like, in high school, there used to be this one, like, touchy kid, like, and we were friends and stuff, but he was very touchy, but, like, I remember during my period, like, my type of PMS was just, like, I did not want anybody touching me, like, so when he would, I would get extra, like, get off me, like, extra anti-touchy, like, ugh. Like, we just have to have that kind of relationship, and, like, I hug my mom when I don't see her for a long time, or when I say bye to her for a while, you know, I hug my boyfriend, and then... Ugh, and I hate how like it's a social norm to hug people hello and goodbye. No, I hate it.
It's not.
If you ever catch me at a party, even if it's just 6 people, you'll see me by the door going, all right, see ya, big wave, I'm out. It's like, you know, the whole going.
Goodbyes make me uncomfortable because I expect somebody to touch me or, like, kiss me on the cheek.
Me
and I'm just like,
too. I hate goodbyes. I hate saying goodbyes. The whole kiss, especially when I do my makeup and, like,
and you're gonna kiss me on the cheek. Disrespectful. You know how expensive this highlighter is? Like,
you know, I know, and I know, like, family, that, like, it's really nothing against, like, my family members, like, my friends. It's just, like, personally, I just don't like being touched. I really don't. And sometimes, like, I initiate it just because, like, I don't want anybody getting mad at me. Like, I'll do it for my family mostly. Like, I don't want anybody getting mad about, like, hugging and stuff.
I get really awkward. And so I don't know how to approach the situation and be like, no, I don't want to hug. So I'm like,
yeah.
And I just kind of, like, lean into it.
Me too. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I give like the weirdest, like, kiss cheeks. Because I'm like, well, is this a cheek? Is it my hug?
Been there, done that. There's, like, 5 people that I hug when I see them. And that's because I genuinely appreciate them. And just, if I don't hug you, it's not that I don't appreciate you, but it's a different relationship, I guess, like, schematic or, like, I don't know. It's a different level, okay?
It is.
That's all it is.
It really is. It's just because, like, it's not, you and I are really close friends, but, like...
Right, we've slept in the same bed.
Yeah, but, like,
we've shared.
But we just don't... It's not like we don't appreciate each other.
Right.
We just don't... It's just
It's
weird.
not there. We don't need it.
Yeah, like...
You don't need it. I don't need it. We're cool.
Yeah, we're cool. Like...
Uncheck that box.
Really, though. I hate hugs. Yeah, and you know what's even more awkward? Like... Getting to a part in your relationship where you tell them that you don't like hugs anymore. like, I try to do it pretty early on so you're not used to it.
Right.
Because, like, I remember when, like, back to Alex, like, the first week I met him, like, he went to hug me, and I was like, okay, Alex, we're going to be hanging out a lot. I really don't like hugs. And he was like, oh, okay. But when I told somebody else, he was so offended. He's like, what? Like, there's no purpose in hugging me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, like, I just hate hugs. If you're saying goodbye to me, I'm going to see you, like, in a week or so. Like, goodbye.
Right. See you later. Text you later.
Right. I'll text you a hug.
Right.
My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. Texting while I'm, like, talking to you. Like, not, like, and not just, like, because if I'm telling you something, you check your phone real quick or whatever, or, like, you're someone who could, like, text and listen at the same time, or you're still giving me feedback, like, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Everybody checks their phone, especially if we're talking for a long time. Like, that's cool. Like, I get it. But, like, at least, like, if you're down looking at your phone, texting, like, you could, like, still look up at me and be like, yep. And, like, you know, actually give me something, or, like
pay attention. Just
like, answer it or stuff. Especially, like, another thing with, like, not answering while you're talking. So, like, if I'm telling you something and, like, you're, like, and I'm done telling the story and you're still...
It's the worst when they're doing that and they go, wait, what?
Oh, my God. Right. Like,
I'm sorry,
like,
I was texting.
Like, 3 minutes later. Wait, what?
Or, like, no. You're done with the conversation. They pretended to listen or whatever. And then you go and, like, say something. Yeah. And then they're like, wait, I don't think you told me that.
Like,
yes, I did. I just did.
Oh, boy.
No.
Right. Yeah, more?
This one's, like, very minuscule, but it drives me nuts. If you are putting a caption on Instagram about women and you're using the word women for multiple people, it's with an E. And if it's for one woman, it's with an A. Please do not put, I love my women, and it's just your one girlfriend.
I love my women.
It's so annoying, and it just... Really? Women?
I love my women.
Woman. Women? Woman. 1, 2. That's the difference. I'd be upset, like, if I was dating somebody and they posted, oh, I love this women. That would piss me off. I like, bless Instagram for the edit, because come on.
Yeah, right.
That's so stupid. Like, I don't know. I could go off on that one. Because then it goes to, like, there, and there, 2, 2, and 2. Or, like, or here. Like,
oh, yeah, that's such a bad one.
Right. It's not who and whom.
I saw somebody use the wrong patience today.
No, stop.
That's a bad one. That's really bad. I mean, I get it. The English language is hard.
It's definitely hard, but if you're not sure, Google it.
Google it.
You can Google Translate. You can type it in, and if it has a little squiggly word, change it. Bone apple teeth. Like, come on.
Apple teeth.
Come on.
I love that one.
Like, oh, I can't.
I can't think of any more pet peeves. If you have
more.
She got more. I've been bouncing off of yours.
So when people say no offense,
oh my God,
don't say no offense. Just say what you gotta say. Have a backbone. I can respect that over the no offense, but your hair looks better straight.
The offense still taken. I use it ironically. Like, you know, I use it ironically because, like, I use it in a way that's, like, obviously, like, it's not meant for it. Like, I'll be like, no offense, but I need to eat now.
Right, it's like a joke. It's a joke.
Because that's how stupid the saying is. Like, that's why I use it as a joke, because that's how stupid it is.
No offense, but I didn't like your show. Just say you don't like it, and?
Or just don't say anything at all.
Right, like, or don't watch it.
Unless you're going to give me some constructive criticism, like.
Right, because at the end of the day, in one ear, out the other.
No offense, but your hair looked better when it wasn't pink.
I got that so many times.
Yeah. Okay.
I get the no offense, but your hair looks better straight all the time. Why? I
love your hair curly.
Me too. I literally chopped so much of it off.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Do we need any more pet peeves?
Yeah, go. If you have more, go.
Listen,
go
I
off.
do. So, if I'm sitting at the light and it just turned green.
Oh my God.
And I mean just turned green, do not beep at me.
Got me so mad.
I didn't even have time to take my damn foot off the brake. Like, come on.
I hate that.
Green
Like,
beep. Like, it's gonna make me go slower.
Right. Like, we all got places to be. Like, just relax. We said this last time, too. I feel like everybody just, like, thinks that they're in their own world when they're driving.
Right.
Like, then a person's not in their car. Like, we all got places to be.
Right.
That's why we're in these cars.
It's not just you. And I think it's just rude. Like,
it is rude.
Like, I had somebody beep at me when the light just turned green, but there was somebody still turning from the previous light the opposite direction. What do you want me to do? Just ram right into them?
Right. Oh,
like,
my God.
How does that make any sense? And they were beeping at me, not at the person, because had it been the person, they would have beeped before it turned green. No. As soon as it turned green, beep. Where am I going to go? Where? Right into this car and blockade your entire time, and good luck beeping out of that one.
Right.
Like,
good luck. Yeah.
Right.
Need more honking.
If you're at my place and you flush the toilet without closing the lid, it's a wrap. We cannot be friends. That is disgusting. You know how many bacteria has been, like, aerosolized? Like, that's disgusting. Just close it. It's not hard. It's there for a reason. I even struggle in public bathrooms that don't have lids, and I hear, like, the toilet flushing. I'm like, oh, don't breathe the air.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it makes me very uncomfortable.
My bad.
Oh, you're fine. I don't think you've ever done it. I didn't pay that much attention to it, I guess. You must have not done it because I would have remembered. Let's be real. And, my last one. Do not pick off my plate. Do not. Unless I offer it to you, do not be like, And if I offer it to you, say, no thanks, and then you want something, don't do that either. Because I offered you. Your little time has expired. Now I've made all of this mine, and it's over. My sister's notorious for this. We'll go out to eat. Do you want something? No, I'm not hungry. And then she's eating half my whatever I'm eating. Fries, she'll eat all of them. Oh, I just want to taste. And she takes more than just the taste. Like, if you knew that you were... Okay, it's not even that you knew. You know you're going to do this because you've done it since we were kids. If you're going to do it, just order something or order the same exact thing that I'm going to order, and that way we can avoid this entire situation. Because then you eat half of my food, and then I'm angry. Very, very angry because half the time I want the whole thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ordered it.
I do pick off of like Justin's if he does eat, but I mean it's only because I don't want enough that's a small size. Like if I'm like, no, I'm good, and then I like have,
I feel like
a
if it's
sip
your
or something.
significant other, it's different though.
True.
Because like,
yeah, I'm not gonna pick off your plate. I mean, you always offer to me anyway.
right? I always offer, and see, and that's the thing. I always offer, and for somebody to
Yeah.
just be like, no, and then go and reach and grab something.
Yeah, I don't think I ever just reach and grab things.
Like, I've just made this entire thing mine. Like, in my head, I've talked myself into eating the whole thing. Like, let me do it now. Just let me do it.
Right.
Because now you're making me let myself down.
Right. That was all yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably find more during the
probably
week.
find more too. I'm sure people can relate to these though. These are all very relatable. I mean,
I feel like it's just common sense things, a lot of them.
yeah. Or just common courtesy.
Right.
Maybe. But yeah, speaking about pet peeves, we also thought it would be fun to talk about customer service. Kelly and I had this whole conversation on Saturday about just like customer service stories and like all unnamed places. We're not gonna name these places, but I've worked in a lot of different places, a lot of different kinds of places, from like food to like retail, et cetera, since I was 16. A lot of them were very short-lived.
I feel that on a very personal level.
Oh my God, I got 2 week stories for you. But yeah, so I thought we could start with some customer service stories. So go ahead.
Oh, man. Oh, I went to this place and you order food and they kind of just serve it as you ask for it. I had some guy put stuff on my plate that I didn't want and then try and scoop it out. When I said, no, like, I didn't ask for that. You can't scoop steak off a vegan's plate.
I didn't even think about customer service vice versa, too. Like, bad customer service that you received.
Right.
I was thinking about, like, customer service you worked.
Oh, girl, I ain't got stories about those, too.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just be all over the place with mine, but I'll tell my favorite one first. I love this one. So I was working seasonal at a retail store. Said retail store loves to sell. They're very popular for selling lingerie and ladies' undergarments. Okay, so
Target.
yeah. Claire's. So I was working during Christmas time, and it gets really busy. This particular store, it gets so packed because of the sales, or I don't know, people just love spending the money there, and the lines go really long. So I worked just the register, and then so a lady comes up to me, and I do my normal, hi, how are you? Nobody said Merry Christmas to me. I was like,
I know the story.
I was like, I kind of laughed because I was like, is this lady serious, right now? She goes, I walked in and not a single sign says Merry Christmas, and not one employee said Merry Christmas to me. Turns around, points to the line. This line is here because of Jesus.
No, they're here for the sale. Jesus or not.
I forgot that the Bible said, thou shalt only buy lingerie. This line is not here because of Jesus. If anything, because of Jesus for Christmas, you wouldn't be... Listen, if you want to argue about the Christmas time being for Jesus and stuff, you wouldn't be making it commercialized by shopping at a giant retail place for Christmas. If you wanted to make this argument, you're doing it wrong.
Right. I believe the verse she was referencing was sale $9.99. Yeah. I'm confused.
From the New Testament sale 9.99, thou shalt buy lingerie for gifts. Thank you. I literally stood there smiling because I was laughing at how fucking funny this was. I was literally just like, this is hilarious. Hilarious in the sense that it wasn't funny, but it was funny. How can someone be so worked up over this because people didn't say Merry Christmas? Keep in mind, there's there were quite a few Jewish girls that I was working with as well that were like, why would I say Merry Christmas to you? Also, Hanukkah's around the same time too.
Happy
typically
Hanukkah.
Ramadan's around the same time too.
Right.
I don't know, maybe someone's birthday is December 24th.
Or 25th or 26th.
Seriously, this line is not even here because of Jesus. It's not even just Christmas time. You are literally not the center of the world. So I was standing there, and then the manager comes, and she's like, hi, can I help you with anything? This lady, and she's an older lady too, she's like, hi, can I help you with anything? Started making fun of her, and then started cursing at her. And then my manager just goes to the phone and calls security. And then after I rung her up and everything, I'm still there smiling.
I feel like there's only so much you can do about that situation.
Right. Customers always right. I give it back to her. I'm like, Merry Christmas. And I handed it back to her. I should have been like, Happy Holidays, because
Happy Hanukkah.
Right. And the next person that came up to me was just like, I cannot believe that. She's like, why would, what if I don't celebrate Christmas? I was like, thank you for having my back.
Nah, I worked at this restaurant. I was a hostess. I did, I was basically in charge of, the rotation and where people sat and, kind of made sure that the servers got all equal amounts of tables or whatever. I controlled the wait line, too. So we're on a 15-minute wait, only because we're waiting on busters to clean tables and stuff like that. We don't know how long it's going to take. It's later on. Oh, no. Anyway. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to clean the tables and whatnot, and it's kind of a general, we have a couple of other people waiting on these tables as well, so we don't want to overbook. Anyway, I asked this gentleman for his phone number. He's already coming in with an attitude. He's shouting his number at me, so I'm like, okay, I'll message you as soon as we have a table ready open. Storms off, sits at the bar, which you can also order food from. It's not like he was with the party of 12. It was just him by himself. So, 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass. At this point, I have messaged him about 5 times, and I have the record on the computer. So, you can see it. It's not like I just, hey, your table's ready. No, it's on an actual system. So, he comes back, 15 minutes on the dot, storming, screaming. And I'm just like, I messaged you 5 times, I apologize if there was a disconnect. I'm not exactly sure what happened. So he proceeds to yell at me and say, what number did you text? So I read back the number. He goes, oh, it was a 6 instead of a 4. Well, I'm sorry. Had you not been yelling at me, I would have gotten it right. But it's fine. I was like, no, we can get you seated. It is not a problem. Don't worry about it. We have tables open. You waited 15 minutes. Come on. Proceeds to continue yelling at me. as said manager is standing right behind me. Okay. So one, the manager's just going to stand there and watch me get yelled at and cursed at. Cool. 2, you're going to continue yelling at me even though I told you that there are plenty of tables open that we can get you seated after you've only waited 15 minutes.
Right. People are
dying. You kidding? So I proceed, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, we can get you seated. Keeps yelling. So I'm like, all right. So you have one of 3 options. Either you tell me where you want to sit, whether it's in the bar, on the outside, you stay at the bar, or you eat elsewhere. So I don't know what you want me to do because you're sitting here yelling at me and cursing at me for what reason exactly? Is it making you feel better? Are you upset? Like, is it because I'm young that you think you can just yell at me and talk to me however you feel like it? And, like, I genuinely asked him, so where is it that you want to sit? Either here or at P.F. Chang's? And he was like, no, but by the bar is fine. Well, you should have just stayed at the bar then. Rude. Do not treat people in customer service or people particularly restaurants. Shit, come on.
They just forget that, like, you're not a person anymore. Well, not that they forget, but they choose not to see you as a person, and you're just a service worker to them, which is so terrible. I'm so nice to everybody I work, like, work with, just, if I'm getting any kind of service, like, even if it's not my fault, like, if something gets messed up, I apologize, like, 20 times, like, because you're still a burden, like, it's their job, but, like, I hate it when people are like, it's their job, and they, like, leave their freaking, like, crap all over the table and stuff.
Right.
Like, people do that even here when, they make a mess in, like, the hallways and, like, well, someone's cleaning it. It's their job to clean it, but it's not right to make their job harder.
Right. There's no need for it.
Because if you were on the opposite end, you would be so pissed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, God, I can't. What else? Okay, so I worked at a pizza place for a total of 2 weeks. 3 days, 2 hours each training. This pizza place was so old school that, like, the cashier was still manual, like manual buttons and stuff. No preset prices. I had to look at the menu and everything. And, like, totally doable, all doable. What wasn't fair was that they expected me to know this immediately. So not only did I have to type up the stuff in the register, but I had to add it either in my head or use the calculator really fast. But
wait, hold on. So the cashier, like the actual machine, didn't add it for you or anything like that?
I don't think so. No. Or it was a pain in the butt. Like, it was something like that because I remember using a calculator, but also, like, to type in those numbers, you needed to know the prices of everything. So you had to go down the list and find the prices. And, like, that's hard seeing a giant, like, menu and not knowing,
That or, like, a giant line waiting outside.
Exactly. And the way they trained me was they just, like, threw me in and then trained me on everything as it was going on rather than just being, like, just work the cash register right now or, like, here's a menu, like, just look at the menu, just add up the stuff. Like, it was, like, go into it and know it. And I remember the lady, and she was older, too, working at this pizza place, and she was like, oh, I get it. The first time I worked here, I went home crying because everybody kept yelling at me and blah, 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 blah. But then she was the lady that made me go home crying because they were so mean to me.
That's not normal.
Right. And, like, they were just, like, so impatient with me learning and, like, everything. And, like, of course, when they're yelling at me and telling me I'm doing everything wrong, like, I would be too slow typing up the stuff. She would move me out of the way, type it up herself, bring up the person themselves. So I still wasn't learning. I wasn't being trained because she kept taking over my spot every time, like, I was trying to do something. Because you wanted me to do everything at once and you didn't let me learn. So I would mess up a lot of orders because everybody was yelling at me. Negative reinforcement is only going to bring me down more and make me mess up. So I was messing up orders. They were like, who has this order? What is this? Where's the phone number? I didn't write it down because you're making me also answer phones while answer people online. Like, it was a lot at once.
It's overwhelming, especially when it's like your first time working something like that.
And, like, you're new to the environment in general. Right. So then, like, they asked me to not come back because I was messing up too much. So I was like, whatever, like, you guys didn't even, like, train me properly. You didn't give me time, like, whatever, that's fine. I don't like working here anyway. And so I worked 6 hours, and the manager, it was off the books, the owner tried giving me $30. And I'm like, wait a second, let me just compute this in my head. I know that I wasn't good at math, adding up all the prices right away because I didn't know the prices and, maybe I couldn't add $7.99 plus $6.49 in my head in 2 seconds, but I'm pretty sure I could divide 30 by 6, and that equals $5 an hour because I don't think that's legal. So when he handed it to me, like, I wasn't as aggressive as I am now, but I immediately was just like, this adds up to $5 an hour. That's not legal. And once I said that, he was like, oh, but like you messed up a whole bunch of times.
That doesn't mean anything.
I was like, it doesn't matter. I still work those hours. You're going to be paying me under minimum wage.
Right, no.
And they were already off the books. So if he really wanted to play me, like, you're going to get in trouble because you're already off the books.
Right.
And you're not trying to pay me the amount of money I made. You're not taking it out of my salary because I messed up 2 pizzas that you were going to throw away anyway because you weren't going to use the ingredients, you know?
Right.
By the end of the day, like, so that was one of the worst. Like, those 6 hours there was so stressful having
That's
him,
horrible.
them all yell at me.
It's horrible. Back to this restaurant that I worked at. I had this gentleman come in and ask for a table for 2. He was eating with another gentleman. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I sent them over to a certain server section because I only had 2 tables open in the entire restaurant at the moment. And he heard the server's name and it was a male. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, no. Is there any female servers? And I'm like, no, sir, you would have to wait or whatever. And he's like, oh, well, I'm homophobic and I can't eat with a male serving me. And I kind of giggled. And I was waiting for the joke. Like, I was waiting for the...
Wait.
Just kidding.
Wait, the guy didn't want a guy serving him?
Yeah, but you're having dinner with a guy? Like, what looks worse?
Wait, so he said he's
He said he's homophobic and didn't want to be served by a male. He didn't want to sit in a male server section because he's homophobic. Yeah, you're having dinner with a guy.
That's not even logical.
Right.
He just didn't want a guy. He literally was 100% no homo, that he just didn't want a guy serving him.
Yeah, he said that. And it was like a huge ordeal, like yelling, like getting upset, wanting to talk to a manager. LOL. The manager's gay. So I walked away and I just let it be. And I let somebody else handle that because I would have probably gotten arrested. Because you don't say that to anybody. That's not an excuse to not sit somewhere. I think that's really sad and kind of pathetic because at the end of the day, the food's going to taste the same. So what? It's like that one video where it's like, oh, I don't want AIDS or HIV on my plate or whatever because it was a homosexual person making the food.
Oh my God.
Like, are you kidding? You know how ignorant you sound?
Right. And like that's super ignorant and just plain out stupid as hell because he didn't know that if the guy serving him was gay.
He was married and has kids.
It was just a guy. I don't want a guy.
So what? It's not a man's job to serve you. It has to be a woman. So is it really a sexist thing and not a homophobic thing? Because that's an even bigger problem.
That's so stupid. I don't understand how people could be so dumb. Wow.
I have no idea. And it was crazy because I was in shock and I was literally waiting for just kidding, haha. Even though it's a really shitty joke, haha, LOL. But at least it would have been a joke and not, no, like I'm actually homophobic and don't want to sit in a male server section. Like that's sad. Sad as fuck.
Wow. I've also had like a couple of jobs where like the management was just so like corrupt and they like kind of got away with things that like they shouldn't get away with, especially because I was so young at the time.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I hated it. So one of those, I have another one after this, but one of those I catered for also 2 weeks. Worst shifts of my life, and like I was making quite a lot of money. I think it was like, I mean, like especially for a teenager, it was like $11 to $14 an hour, which was like a lot. Working 8-hour parties and whatever. But like, first of all, like whatever shoes you had to wear weren't comfortable for standing for 8 hours, so that was the worst. Second, they didn't give us a break. In 8 hours, they didn't give us a break.
I feel like that's a legal problem.
It is.
Because in 8 hours, you're supposed to
especially when you're
have even at least
minor.
a half hour, especially as a minor. I don't even think you're supposed to work 8 hours
at
a certain time.
I wasn't minor. I was 19 at the time.
Okay.
I just remembered. Because it was at home, but it was like over the summer.
Okay.
No, but you're right. But even still, even when you're not a minor, you still, in 8 hours, you need to have a lunch break. And 2 15-minute breaks.
Right.
Which, in my other retail job, we did that. Like, it was enforced. They would make sure we had a break. So
right, because they can get in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah, but all these jobs, like, before I was, I think, 19, none of them gave me breaks. So I wasn't, like, completely used to that.
They're just taking advantage.
Exactly. They were taking advantage of the fact that I didn't know that. So, like... So, they didn't give us a break. We didn't have lunch or anything. Like, we were working there for 8 hours.
That, also, and you're, like, working with food. Like, that makes you extra hungry.
Exactly, especially because when they had extra food given back that they were going to throw away, they were like, you can't have that. They were throwing it away. And like so sometimes like we all like the kids, the teenagers would like grab it and like run outside real quick so we could, one, sit down once in 8 hours, and two, eat once in 8 hours. And they were the worst. And I remember talking to these other kids who were like a lot younger than me, saying that like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money, but like I'm not happy or whatever. And I was sad because he was younger, but also he was one of a twin, like, and one of them, I don't think that was the one that annoyed me a lot, but I remember one of them being like really sexist to me, and I remember like I might have lunged at him at one point. I remember that. So that was fun. So like overall, like the people I worked with were like not cool. Most I like, you know, some of them, and then also just like the management like was just taking advantage of the fact that we were kids and that we like didn't know about brace and stuff.
Right.
And like
That's
also
so rude.
people at weddings just like don't see you, like they don't see you when you're catering, so like they're mean to you or they don't pay attention to you, so like you really don't feel like a person. I didn't feel like a person catering.
That's horrible. That really sounds, that's so bad, because you would think like these companies are used a lot.
Yeah.
Like you can cater for anything and everything, and people look for that kind of stuff because nobody wants to cook for a large amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
And for those people to be treated that way who are actually serving you, again, it goes back to people serving you. They are humans. They are people. It's just, it's so rude.
Right.
Yeah. No. I guess this wasn't towards a customer. It was towards the owner of the place. I was told that my piercings were disgusting, which one? It's fine. You're more than welcome to tell me that that's not the aesthetic of your place or whatever. I get it. It's fine. Some places that's not a thing. But for you to come at me with that demeanor, are you kidding? All you had to say was take it off. That would have sufficed. Or we don't allow facial piercings or anything like that, which mine aren't even that noticeable, honestly. So, like, it's not that big a deal for me to be like, oh, yeah, fine, whatever. I'll just flip my septum up or, like, put in some clear ones for my nostrils. It's not that serious.
But he did not have to say.
Right. Disgusting. And, well, it was... I think they're fucking disgusting. That's the...
Because then it's not even about the business or
right.
whatever.
It's just a
you.
personal thing that you have. And then I also realized I'm the only person of color that was there at the time. The only person of color. Which brings me back to the other restaurant that I was working at. 3 of us got hired all in the same day. One was Hispanic, me, one was black, and one was Muslim. All 3 of us were hired the same day. Everybody else that was working there, guess what? None of that. All white. Nothing wrong with that, but it just seems kind of fishy that you hired 3 of us that were not white all in one day when we come and see that everybody else that's working the desk doesn't look anything like us, which is fine. Again, your prerogative, but it was just kind of weird. I thought it was too much of a coincidence for it to be a coincidence.
True. I remember, yeah, he or she did not sound like a very nice person.
No, not at all.
Back to management, taking advantage of like all of us, like kids. I worked at another retail place. This was my first job, and they really, really took advantage of like the fact that we were all kids, we were all minors, and that we might have not known much.
Was it like a big place, or was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, which is bad, like, you know, for your company.
Right.
But I remember I got hired like during like Black Friday season and stuff like that.
That's the worst.
Right.
Ooh.
But like what they wanted me to do was they wanted me to work from 12 a.m. on Black Friday morning, so Thanksgiving
night, midnight,
to 12 p.m. that same day. So many problems with that. One, I was 16, so you cannot work before or after certain hours.
Exactly.
2, you cannot work over 8 hours without a parent's permission.
Exactly.
And 3, like I've talked about the. Oh no, it was the other podcast I was talking about it. I really don't like Black Friday because it's not about like getting gifts for your family. It's not even Black Friday anymore. Like, and this was when it was still like midnight of, you know, Thanksgiving.
Midnight of Friday.
Yeah. You know, it's like Black Thanksgiving into Friday. You know, like, and you're taking people away from their families, especially when I'm 16 years old. I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna be an hour away at my grandma's house. Like, I'm not going to make it there. But I remember telling my mom that, and my mom was like, whoa, that's not legal. So I told them, and my mom even, like, wrote a letter because she's like, they're not going to take you seriously, apparently, because you're a minor. And I was like, you cannot have me without my parents' permission after these hours, before these hours, and over 8 hours. So I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm not working 12 hours.
Right, and like, you're still 16, so what if you haven't gotten your license yet? Like,
and I didn't.
You're right at the cusp, or where you might.
I didn't have my license. And I was the only person, I remember, the only person that didn't work from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. I was the only person who had weird hours, and people were like, that's weird that you have these hours.
Were you the only minor there?
No, I wasn't the only minor. I was the only minor that called them out, though.
Oh,
and
so
they changed it.
So they changed it for you, but they didn't change it for everybody else. They just kind of left them and were like, well, whatever.
Yeah, and they were mean too. I remember I didn't work on Christmas Eve because it was it's my dad's birthday, and they were like, you need to either work Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas. And I said, let me work the day after Christmas because I can't work Christmas Eve. I worked, so I didn't get scheduled Christmas Eve. They didn't schedule me for the day after Christmas. Not my problem. So I was like, okay, you didn't schedule me. Yeah. So I went, my friend was like, you want to go shopping that day? So I went with him. And I remember going into the store, and the manager was like, shouldn't you be working? And I was just like, you didn't schedule me. But you needed to be working this day. Can you work right now? I looked down. I was wearing yoga pants and a Mickey Mouse sweatshirt. And I was like, I'm not dressed. Can you go home and get dressed?
No.
I don't drive. No, I'm not going to do that. You didn't schedule me. And he was dead serious about this too, like kind of playing it off like he was joking. But I was like, this isn't my fault that you didn't schedule me.
Right.
And then when I left, like, they do this thing where, like, they check your bags after you leave because you're an employee or whatever. And I had 100 singles because my uncle thought it was, funny and clever to, like, give us 100 singles, which was cute. And, like, he literally, like, before that even happened, I was buying things, and he radioed in somebody, like, radioed in, and he was like, don't ring up Jada. Like, she's like, Jada's gonna come up, don't ring her up. And it sounded like he was joking, but he was serious because he actually radioed to them. I put down my stuff, and I went out, and then he checked my bag, and then he saw that I had all these singles, and he's like, Jada's stealing money from the safe inside. And, like, he actually radioed it in. So, like...
That could get you in a lot of trouble for no reason.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter if you were joking or not. You shouldn't say that. Like, that got me really mad. I was like, I can't believe this.
That would piss me the fuck off. Like... How ignorant are you, first off? And how pathetic is it that you really have to sit here and blame a minor because I'm a minor? Like, that's discrimination and one of its basic forms, age.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And two, like, you messed up. You didn't schedule me. Right. That's not my fault. I told you I could work this day, and you didn't put it on my schedule, so why would I just show up at work?
Right. I'm not just going to show up if my name's not on it.
Yeah.
Because then, at the end of the day, you're going to get mad anyway.
They were the worst. They were so mean. I did not like any of the managers. They were all so mean to us. They really took advantage. Mm-hmm.
I was working this one place, and I was going to ring them out, and this gentleman came in, and he's on the phone, and he chucks his credit card at me. Like, he, threw it at me. And I fumed. I was like, picked that shit off my neck, and I was like, here, we can try that again. I have a hand. And he was, so taken aback that I said something. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you think that was acceptable? And I, said this to him. And he, nothing. And he gives me the card in my hand. And I'm like, is that so fucking hard?
You know that, he's only doing that because no one says anything to him.
Right. No, I'm going to call you out on your bullshit because guess what? You're not just going to chuck your freaking credit card at whoever you feel like it. Sorry, not sorry. That's just not who I am. And I don't think it's funny. Maybe somebody else did. Not me.
Wow. Because he's literally, walking around with, all this, power that he has. Yeah. He's throwing shit at people.
Just because you're on the phone and you don't want nobody to talk to you doesn't mean shit to me. You can hand it to me on my hand and completely ignore me. I don't give a fuck. But do not throw anything at me. That is the absolute... Back to pet peeves. Don't throw things at me. I have a hand. If I'm out reaching for it, give it to me in my hand. Or if I'm, ready to catch it. Okay. But don't just throw shit at me and expect me to be like, oh.
That shouldn't even be a pet peeve, because why are people doing that?
It's so incredibly rude. If I ask you to hand me something, I said hand me something, not QB it like Nick Foles. I'm sorry. Do I look like a running back? No, I'm not a receiver. I have hands. You can just hand it to me. That's why it's called handing it to somebody.
Yeah, dude, I hate the whole, And, like, I'm glad you said something because, like, there's a whole, like, the customer's always right thing.
Right. And that's not true. You're not always right.
But, like, so many places make it out to be, like, the customer is always right. You know, let me reward them for being rude.
Yeah, no. You're not going to get your way by being an asshole to me like that. It's just, it doesn't sit right with me.
A lot of people condone that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not okay. That's something that society has bred to be a social norm. Like, it's okay because we're the ones paying you. Listen, at the end of the day, if that's how you're going to act and treat people, I don't want your fucking money.
Right. Yeah, and, like, and then it also gives other people incentive to be like, well, if this person complains about a coupon being expired and they still get 50% off, I'm going to complain too.
Right, because then I have to get it because they got it. It doesn't work that way.
Right. So one of my stories, I worked at a fast food place.
You worked at a lot of places.
See, that's what I'm saying. I worked at a lot of places.
I can't.
Because you work you work places for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I hate these kind of, like, jobs.
Right.
I get so bored with them.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I feel the same. But I just hate the new, like, learning new things. Like,
I like new environments because it gets so boring. Because, I mean, I can't be the kind of person that could be, like, a manager of, like, a place like this because you do the same thing over and over again. You know, if it's something that doesn't require a lot of learning, I don't like it. Anyway, so, I worked at, like, a fast foodie type place, I would say. And so I was working. They had 3 different locations. I was working at one location I wasn't used to normally, and I was working with another kid who was only a year younger than me. And this was in high school. This was my senior year of high school. And then someone had come in, and he also worked at the other location, like our normal location together. We were working at a new location, and this certain location also sold ice cream. Ours usually didn't. So this one lady comes in with her boyfriend, husband, whatever, partner, and she asked a question about ice cream, a pint of ice cream. I forgot what it was, but the guy I was working with didn't know because, like I said, we both worked at the same location where ice cream wasn't sold. So we're like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I don't know. And then I forget, like, how this happened because it doesn't make any sense in my head, so I can't even compute it. She got so mad. And she started yelling at him. Over ice cream. She started yelling at him, screaming at him, and he was just like, okay, like, whatever. Like, I don't know what to tell you, and kept yelling. And then
yelling at me is not going to make ice cream just pop out of nowhere.
So she storms out, and, like, he was obviously fuming, but he was holding it back. But, like, she was exiting, and then he goes, shut the fuck up. And she heard it. Because, like, he just wanted to let it out, like, and, like, I don't blame him. I really don't.
I don't blame him, but
and because he was so mad. And then so she turns around, she's like, what the fuck did you say to me? And all this stuff. And then the partner comes and he starts yelling. And then this is, like, I think this guy just really had to let it out because after he was so calm. They kept saying, he was like, all right. Why don't you come over that counter and come over here and fight me or whatever? Okay. No. The lady came up to me and she was just like, give me his name. And I was like, I know he's your friend, but give me his name. And, like, at this point, it's so sad. At this point, this guy already knew that he was fucked. Like, he was like, go ahead, tell her my name. Like, go ahead. Like, it's fine. Like, he's like, thank you, but it's fine. And then so after all this stuff, like, even the other customers after, they were just like, I'm sorry that happened to you. Make sure you don't go outside in the back because they could be waiting for you because they did not seem...
That's a thing that happens.
Because they did not seem right. Like, they're
yelling over ice cream.
Right, like, obviously. So, like, the other customers obviously weren't upset by this. They weren't rattled by the way that this guy was treating the customers because, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated. Like, I'm sorry, it's customer service, sure. But, like, you still need to treat people the way you want to be treated. If you're going to treat them like shit, they're going to give it right back to you.
Right.
Like they should. Because this is why people are assholes, because they're allowed to say things to people that can't say anything back because of, like, whatever job that they need to keep and stuff. And then they're assholes to everybody else in the world because, like, they learn from being jerks to all these customer service people.
Right.
So anyway, so then the owner shows up and we're both like, oh no. Man. Pulls him to the back, has this long talk with him, and then the guy comes out, pats me on the back, and he's like, thank you, see you later, because he got fired. Like, really, like, you really, like, because I guess the lady called the owner or whatever and, like, complained and said, you know, said his name because she found out his name. But, like, really, you're really going to fire him over something that was, like, the customer's fault? Like, totally the customer's fault? Like, and that's really, again, really, like, condoning the behavior of, like, these people who treat other people like dirt.
Right. They feel like they're in power just because you are providing something for them. But that's not the case. Just because you are being provided something doesn't mean that you have any entitlement over the person that is providing that service for you. Like, you don't get to yell at them. You don't get to belittle them. Like, it's just, you just don't. It's that simple. You don't, and you can't. It's, how would you feel if you were the one being yelled at? Like, if you were treated the way you're treating other people, you wouldn't like it.
But they never, like, the thing is, I'm almost 100% positive that these people who are okay with yelling at these service people have never been in that job.
Right. Probably never have been, never will be. And it's just going to be a cycle because it's just going to be passed on from them to their children or other little people who are seeing them because...
Right. Or they're one of those kind of people that are like, and I hate these kind of people, well, it happened to me, so if I had to go through it, like, they can go through it.
No. That, you have to break the cycle. If it happened to you and you didn't like it,
right,
change it. Do something. Like, be the change you want to see. I know as cheesy as that sounds, but, like, don't just sit here and make it the same or worse.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's pretty shitty.
Right. And, like, imagine, like, I mean, we're young, like, he would get another job and stuff like that, and, like, if it was me, I could get another job, but, like, what about those people who need this, like, need to do these kind of things for, like, their living, like they have to work, like, these lower income jobs or, like, these service jobs, and, like, you get someone fired like that. Like, I really don't like when people play with, like, other people's futures like that.
Yeah, that's not okay.
It's not okay. Like
you never know the situation of somebody else.
So why don't you just hope for the best? Like just, like, imagine the best for them. Like, put them in in the best situation possible. Or, like, the worst situation possible, like, okay, I don't know Kass, but, maybe there's a chance she's struggling at home or whatever, like, maybe I shouldn't, like, snub her and not give her a tip.
Right.
Because you don't know if that $5 can make or break you.
That drives me nuts when people don't tip accordingly.
Because that's your income. That's your income.
Right. If you can't afford to go out and tip according to what you order, you can't afford to go out to eat because that's
part of it.
That is part of it. And it may not be like that in other countries, but here it is.
Exactly. I totally agree. I mean, like, that's a lot of the reason why I don't go out to eat too, because it's not just like,
it's not just the food you order.
It's also paying, like, 20% of what you ate. And, like, if you can't afford that, you need to be able to be like, listen, like, I'm a little short of money right now, like, I'm not going to go out and do that. You need to, and if that means
account for that.
Yeah, if that means not going out with your friends sometimes, well, then, okay, you couldn't afford it anyway. Like, you need to be mature enough.
Right. I think people also forget the pay for servers isn't hourly like everybody else thinks. When a server gets the check, usually it's 000. Because that goes all to whatever taxes depending on where you live. Like, my last server check was $3 and I think like 41 cents out of however many hours I worked. And that's a bi-weekly check.
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, out of all the jobs I've worked, I've never been a server, but it doesn't take a lot to know that that's your money and that, like, just put yourself in somebody's shoes. Like, that's another corny saying, but, like, people don't. People just think about themselves. That's such a big problem. Like, it's just so easy to be like, hey, this is their income. Like, hey, like, I can afford this $100 meal. Maybe I should leave a $20 tip,
Right,
like,
right.
Especially when you order so much food and then you leave. There's
been people at, like, other restaurants that I've worked that will spend, like, and it was, like, a high-class restaurant, $100, $140, $180, $300. And they leave, like, a $15 tip. First off, if you ordered that much food, you know how much work, and chances are you changed a bunch of things.
Yeah, that's so much work.
It is a lot of work. People think, oh, well, they just bring it in and somebody else brings it out. No, it doesn't work that way. Most places don't have a food runner. The servers' food run their food and other servers' food as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's just a guaranteed thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just a dummy job, like, plug it in and this is that. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to do a lot of things. There's allergies you have to account for. You're not their only table either. Yeah. And sometimes they're busy. You have to flip tables quickly. Like, it's not a job for the lighthearted, I guess. Because then people won't tip you whether you look a certain way, whether you're a certain race, if you are a certain gender. Like, those things count for, like, how people view you and how they tip you. Like, for example, one time I was left on a receipt thing Had you worn makeup, I would have tipped more. I'm sorry. Had I worn more makeup, you would have tipped me more. As if my makeup had any fucking thing to do with how your food came out.
Maybe if you weren't such a dickhead, you would have tipped more.
Like, it's ridiculous. Or the smile. It looks good on you. I don't feel like smiling. Maybe I'm tired. And you know what? Maybe that is part of my job. Maybe it is to make you feel a little comfortable. But if you're making me uncomfortable, why should I guess let your advances get that far and like smile and like just egg you on. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that. If I'm uncomfortable, I'm not gonna smile.
Right.
If you don't like it, cool. Peace out.
Tip your waitresses. That's part of the reason why like I never got a waitressing job, because I can't.
It's horrible. It's so unstable. Like one night you can make like 300 easy. You're like, damn, if I do this every night, solid, golden. Next day, $50. Are you kidding? And it's a drastic change like that. It's not.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't. Like, you're right. It's not something for like.
Right.
The, like,
it's like it's the, your whole future and your basically your paycheck is up to chance. And sometimes you get really lucky. It's a busy Thursday morning or Thursday night, and then Friday maybe nobody comes in. Like, it's not just on how people tip you, but how often people come out too as well. Like, so much affects your income that it's not okay to just skimp somebody because you felt some sort of way or you couldn't afford it. I think that's a really poor excuse. If you couldn't afford it, then you couldn't have afforded to go out and eat a whole meal.
Right. Exactly.
Stay
right.
home.
You could have saved money by making your own food.
Or go to like a fast food place or Chipotle or something.
Where you don't
have to tip.
Yeah, you don't have to tip.
Right.
Still nice to give $1 or so if you can't afford it.
Right. Because at the end of the day, again, these people are doing the job that you don't want to do.
Right. Like, and that's the thing. It's so funny because I see these things like millennials are the ones who tip the most or tip the most often. And like these rich people or like upper middle class people or people with stable jobs won't do it because they're like, well, you don't have a real job. You got to start somewhere, or like you don't know the opportunities that these people are handling. Like maybe they did apply places, but they can't get it. Like so many things are up to chance, like who you know or like what time you applied. Like it's not always just based on your talents. Like so many people who are working service level jobs have so much talent, but like they just can't get there yet. They need to start somewhere.
Or that's just a supplementary thing. Like for example, I have right now it's a part-time job, but it could be a full-time career thing in my field. And once I go into my PhD program, I'm going to have to get another job. And it might have to be, again, serving or something like that. But at the end of the day, what I'm doing here doesn't define my intelligence, my abilities, my capabilities of doing other things. Doesn't mean that I'm not doing other things. This isn't a boundary like, oh, well, I've hit rock bottom. No, actually.
Like, but you're supposed to be, like, people are so selfish because they just think about themselves. Like, you are the ones that need to help out other people. Like, you know, you didn't get, like, you likely didn't get here on your own. And if you did get here on your own, wouldn't you want to help people so they don't have to do it too?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I went out, like, to get, like, fast food, like, twice. I'm, like, I got, like, coffee and, like, a brownie from somewhere. The guy didn't even, like, look at me, didn't even smile at me. I still tipped him $1 because, like, I don't know, maybe it'll get split between, like, all of them working for me. Like,
something.
And I really don't have a lot of money. Like, I'm a poor college kid. Like, but I think if I can spare, like, an overpriced coffee, I can spare $1.
Right.
Same thing with, like, homeless people. Like, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever their sign is, like, regardless of, like, what they're asking for, like, they're still begging. And that's what gets me. They're still begging and they still have a lot less than you. Like, if you can, go out and, like, carry a few singles on you. Like, you're going to spend that $1 on stupid-ass McDonald's fries or some shit. Like, you can afford...
Spare your one Starbucks coffee. It's not going to kill you.
Right. Even buy someone a meal. Like, I think people are so selfish and people are so like, well, I did this. Not everybody has the same opportunities as you. So what we're getting at is just be open-minded and, like, be kind to one another.
Be human.
Really, though. Like, be nice to customer service people. Be nice to anybody who has to serve you anything. Because in reality, no one has to.
Right. Nobody's holding a gun up to their head and saying you have to do this.
Right. We went over again. Well, it's fine. I wanted to talk about robots because I heard about a self-driving car, which is freaky as hell. But we can
that makes me nervous.
Right. We can get into that next week. All I'm going to say about that is there's a Black Mirror episode where someone gets hit by a self-driving pizza car. So I'm just
Wait, what episode is that?
It's
I need to watch
it's the one from the fourth season.
Fourth season. Do you think the name will have like some sort of hint?
No.
I still haven't watched Playtest.
Watch Playtest.
I'll watch it tonight.
Oh my gosh, we could talk about Black Mirror next week.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Black Mirror next week. Oh my gosh,
And it
there's
won't
so
really
much I could talk
ruin
about
anything
that.
for anyone either.
Yeah, I mean, like, spoiler alert, like, already, like, if you haven't watched Black... I mean, we'll say the name of each episode before I do it, and, like, you know...
If you don't want to hear it, fast forward.
Yeah, I'll put, like, little time frames, because there's so many different theories. Like, yeah, watch a whole bunch of episodes. Watch, like, YouTube videos where they, like, go in depth with it, because it's so wild. Like, these are things that you think about so much.
This is like a school assignment. Like,
this is a school assignment. Like, if you made it this far into the podcast, you watched some episodes this week. You got a week to watch it, so there's no spoilers. So, like, we could talk about, oh my gosh, we can go into such depth with these things, because these are so thought out. Yes. So we'll start with robots, because robots are very Black Mirror-y. We could talk about Black Mirror-y stuff that's going on, like, in real life, because there's so many the show is so...
Conspiracies.
Oh my god. Conspiracies is a whole nother episode, girl. Okay, yeah, we'll get into that. Anyway, our last segment is the Witching Minute, where we witch for 1 minute straight.
Let me get my... Okay. Who's starting?
You can start.
All right. Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, marry me.
There's a new Sims 4 expansion pack, Jungle Adventure. There's skeletons. I don't know. It looks different, and I probably will just buy it because I'm insane and I'm obsessed with The Sims.
I really need new music to listen to because I'm about tired of the same 7 songs.
Me. I have been ingesting so much kombucha and tofuti that it's somehow going to either be the death of me or be the cause of my success.
Planes really make me nervous. We were talking about plane crashes in class. Don't want to be the next one.
I started filming my documentary for school, and I'm so excited about it. And honestly, I'm like always wary of my own work, and I tend to put myself down because I'm like not confident in it. But I'm actually so proud of it.
I know I said this earlier, but Regal popcorn is vegan, and it's my favorite thing with dark chocolate.
I have leftover halal, guys, a falafel platter in my fridge that I am so excited to eat later.
Oh, I'm jealous. I miss my long hair.
Tomorrow, Kass and I and my boyfriend are all going to go to Blackbird Pizzeria and get calzones and pizza and vegan cheesesteak.
And the organic sodas that are amazing. Yes. Oh, they're so good. I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, you're right. We're going to have to go multiple times. I was looking at the menu before. All right, yeah. It was a shorter wishing minute. We couldn't wish about that many stuff. I mean, all of ours were positive, so that's great. I mean, this whole...
That is a good thing.
That is a good... Well, I mean, the whole podcast was kind of like about negative things, but we got to...
On a high note. We had to end it on a high note, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure people could relate, though. It's not like we were trash-talking anybody unless they made us feel
I didn't call anybody out.
We didn't call anybody out except for Alex, but I love Alex. Maybe we could have him, like, do it, like, an over-the-phone podcast. Like,
Aww,
yeah. Because I would love to have him.
I met him at IHOP.
Yeah, oh, right. You didn't even meet him with me.
No.
That's so funny.
I met him at IHOP with a completely different group of friends.
So weird.
Right. But it was so fun.
Yeah, you could have him on here because he's too vulgar to have on, like, anything else. So
and his
he'd
peppermint bow tie.
Oh, my God. He's so cute. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So that concludes our witching hour and a half, probably.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
God.
I think it was like an hour, 15 minutes. I don't know, but I mean,
less than the first one. That's a goal. That's a step.
It is a goal. I mean, I could have gotten to more things. I have so many stories about more customer service things, but like that could be a second episode. We could still talk about that. We could definitely talk. Could
always come back up.
Yeah, more pet peeves and whatever.
It's relevant. Always relevant.
Always relevant. I'm sure people can definitely relate. I hope we didn't bring anybody down. This was only supposed to be like, wow, so relatable, me. Yeah, we definitely were not as funny this one because we was like, we got so serious about all these things, but like,
listen, someone had to do it.
Someone had to do it, but don't worry. Next week we got some Black Mirror. Ooh, I'm so excited for that.
I am too.
There actually are a few episodes I haven't watched yet, so I will watch those.
I'm gonna have to binge.
You can do it. You can do it. Maybe we can watch it after Rent tomorrow.
Yes. I forgot about Rent, and I just got really excited.
All right, guys. So catch us next Wednesday. We'll go watch Black Mirror, and share any pet peeves, customer service things, favorite. Oh, and then, not favorite Black Mirror episode. That's for the next one. No. Just watch Black Mirror.
And give me music to listen to, please.
Right, music suggestions. All right. Catch you next time. Which hit you later, I guess.
Which is which?
Which is which?